Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Shiblon Faithful. My name is Doug Doyle. It is good to have you back. Last time I was here was about 2 weeks ago, and now it's the beginning of a new year, 2024. It is actually Friday, January the 5th, 2024, out here in northern Utah where I live, and we've had snow, a light snow falling through light to moderate, falling throughout most of the day off and on. And they probably got a pretty heavy up in the mountains, but I'm in the valley. Anyway, I'm glad to be back here. It's my first one of this year. I made 16 before this, but this one is the first one of this year, 2024. So I wish you Happy New Year's to you and your family. Happy New Year's to you. And I hope you should go through the year. At the end of the year, a year from now, you can look back at 2024 and say, you know what? In spite of the trials and tribulations and challenges and obstacles which I and my loved ones faced, maybe our country has faced, that I kept the faith. Like Paul said, I fought the good fight. I kept the faith and endured to the end. That's what we all need to do for this year. So through thick and thin, keep our eyes focused. Make sure we're on the right path. If we're on the wrong path, you can actually get on, step off that path, and get on the right path, and stay in that path. And if you start straying, make a course correction, get back on the right path again. Your life will be my life, and your lives will all be better as we do these things with faith in Jesus Christ and through the Holy Spirit's guidance and direction and promptings and encouragement unto us, and keep the commandments of God. Now, I want to tell a story related to how we face challenges in this coming year. A story about when I was serving in the Air Force many years ago. As you can tell from looking at my picture, and this particular camera, webcam, is now sharper and clearer than the one I used before, than the way it was before. And so you can see the lines in my face, the wrinkles, the creases, all that, the scars, a whole lot better than you could before. And I know I haven't shaved for a few days. I always shave every single Sunday morning before church. But now it's Friday, so I'll be shaving in another couple of days from now on Sunday. But right now, I know I'm not clean shaven, but and the face ain't exactly a pretty picture to look at. You're not looking at some star on YouTube who's got 100,000 or more viewers and subscribers, and everyone loves this person. And whether the lady is beautiful or the guy is handsome, that kind of stuff. What you see here is just me, and I've got a stiff neck. I've had this problem with my neck for about 20 years plus, and all of this. So even though you're going to interact with people in your lives that don't look as healthy and as young as they used to be, and if they have disabilities as well, look upon their hearts, because that's what counts, and be caring and loving unto them, and be a friend and supporter of them. Help them in good ways, not bad ways, of course, but good ways. Be a good friend unto all those, because remember, God looks upon the heart. Now, I want to tell a story about when I was in Texas, serving in the Air Force, and back when I was a lot younger, once again. I've been there for several months. I'm a city boy from western New York State. I've been in Texas for several months, and I wanted to learn how to ride a horse. I've been watching westerns all my life, and I still do to this day, and enjoy them greatly. And I looked up to find out where riding stables was, so I could learn how to ride. And back in those days, you did not have the computers. Nope. Not like today. You had books, phone books. Usually they were new ones were issued every year and delivered personally to the doorstep of each person. It was a big effort, expensive effort for the phone companies, etc. Anyway, they had two phone books. One was the white pages printed on white paper, of course, white stock paper stock. That one was Yellow Pages, print on yellow stock. Two separate books, both depends on where you live, whether it's big or but a lot of times you'll be surprised if the Yellow Pages were that. I can show this on camera, but that thick. White Pages were thicker. Residential. Well, the White Pages were residential. If you knew the person's name, it's alphabetical. You look up their name, and then find out their address and their phone number if they're listed. You can call them up, a friend, family, whatever. The Yellow Pages were strictly businesses, small, medium, or large. And that's where they're organized according to the field, work field, and you can look it up and find out all those that perform that work in that service, and then they have their name of the company. Sometimes if they had bigger spots that they would pay extra money, have a bigger ad in there, and so their address and the work they did, just a bigger presence. Back in those days, most of them could not afford the businesses to market and advertise on the radio and or TV. So the only choice they had without the internet and that kind of stuff was through the phone book, the Yellow Pages. So that's why those that could afford it, not all of them could, those that could afford it would pay for larger listings in there to catch the eye of the person who's looking for that work to be done. Customer. Now, that's how I found her writing stables. And as I called her up and asked her about it, they did two things out there. She had people working with her, but she was the one in charge. She did not own the stables, but she was in charge, right? And it's out there in the country, but I drove out there, and I was impressed very much so by her. And her knowledge and her confidence and competence. And also, she was pretty and she was single. So there you go. So anyway, and I was single at the time. So I'm out there, I talked to her about it, and you had to pay a fee for each lesson. She taught both English and Western riding. There's a difference in the saddles and in how you ride a horse. She taught both. She was very much experienced in both fields. She knew her stuff. I wanted to learn how to ride Western. So after several lessons, whenever days off that I had for my duty at the Air Force Base, I would go out there and ride, have another lesson, and learn a little bit more each time. Finally got to a point after several weeks, she trusted me and wanted me to ride solo without her riding her horse beside my horse, together learning this and that, whatever, for the day. She wanted me to go solo. She saved the stables. I went off and I did this, and she wanted me to be back in half an hour to an hour. So I did go out there by myself, and about halfway through, half an hour passed only. Pardon me, I still want to ride a little bit longer, but as I'm riding one area, and we got like open areas, but also the area I was in at that time had a lot of mesquite trees around as well. Not super close, you could ride through it, but I was riding in a fairly open area with trees around me, mesquite trees. And I was straightaway, and I was going at a pretty good clip of speed at that moment. All of a sudden, the horse turns left and goes this way, and I did not expect that, and I was not in control, still a rookie, and I went flying up in the direction I was going just before that turn. So the horse goes that way, and I go this way, and went flying through the air, landed on the ground hard, but I was okay. I didn't break anything or sprain anything. So I got up, brushed myself off, and mad as all get out at that horse. I started walking back to the stables. That's where the horse ended up going. The horse didn't stop and wait right close by for his rider for me to get back on board. No. It decided it had enough of the rider, had enough of me. And as it turned on, went all the way straight back to the stables, all the way back, which I couldn't see. We were a distance away from it. So that's where he ended up going without a rider. I ended up having to walk that distance. So I did, and I got back. She was smiling. She laughed about it when I told her what had happened, but it wasn't a mocking laugh that she had toward me. She wasn't making fun of me. It was an understanding laugh. You know the difference. So I told her what had happened and all that. I said, I've had enough of this horse. She said, I know that, but you got to get back on that same horse. That's why I left that saddle on there. I knew you would get back. I want you to get back on that same horse and take it back to the same exact area you're at, and then continue on the same direction that you were planning on going before you threw you, and keep on going for a while, for a ways more, as long as you want, long short, and then turn back to the stables when you're ready. Show it who's in control. Not in a mean way, but in a good way. Horse is not supposed to be in control ever when you're riding a horse. You are supposed to be in control. That takes experience and confidence. So I did exactly what she said, and I finally came back, and she was happy. It's come to see that I'm still sitting. I wasn't walking back. I was sitting on top of that horse, that same horse this time, the second time. Success. So now, there's the old saying about getting thrown. And when you get thrown in life, you get back in the saddle. Well, I don't know if they still use that term now, but that's what watching all the Western, that was a common term. Get back in the saddle when life throws you for a loop. And that's what we need to do. Um, we all of us need to do. If we're on the wrong path, to get on the right path. And if we're on the right path, but we encounter opposition or feel like we're being thrown out of the saddle, we need to just get back in the saddle and continue on the right path if we're already on the right path. Life is going to hit us hard, whether we're doing right or wrong, but our ability to deal with these things is easier and better and more comforting if we are trying to do the right thing instead of the wrong thing. If we're on the right path, it's better. Wrong path, it's not, of course. So anyway, you're going to have trials and tribulations, and also remember the other side of the coin, great joy and blessings as well for this year to come, 2024. So get back in the saddle, people, and get back in the right path. If any of us, myself or any of us watching, are on the wrong path, get back in the right path, and you'll be blessed immensely in this life and in the eternities to come as well, as you do so. God comforts those who seek comfort, and guides and directs those who need and ask for direction. So think about that. Remember that. As Moses said to Joshua, be strong and of good courage, and may we do so as well. And I hope you have a good year to come, and I'll see you the next time as well. Thank you very much. Once again, be strong and of good courage. Bye.